Hi guys, and welcome to this edition of Phyrefli's Video Digest. As always, thank you very much for watching. At the moment, there's 3 games that I'm looking forward to coming out in the not too distant future. The first of those is Ravaged, which if you've watched my earlier digests, you'll see the alpha footage which I was allowed to release from E3. Thank you very much to Mitch and the guys at Two Dawn Games for allowing me to do that. The second game is MechWarrior Online. Now their founders packs went on sale a few days ago, and if you purchase one of them you'll get access to the beta, which starts on August 7th. If not, then you should get access a little bit later on. And that's a game that's built on the Crytek 3 engine and actually looks to be an absolute cracker. The third game though is Planetside 2. Now I know a lot of us have heard of this game and I've mentioned it several times before. So what I wanted to do was to put together a digest which shows the interesting information for us, Battlefield players, why we should be interested in this game and why we should be looking to transfer to Planetside 2 when it comes out, because it provides a lot of the team play aspects which, as we all know, have been removed from the Battlefield series. So enjoy the video. I'm going to run through the different aspects of Planetside 2, bring you up to date on what's happening, bring you the facts and figures, and hopefully show you why you should be interested in this game. Planetside 2 is a free-to-play MMO FPS, or massively multiplayer online first-person shooter. Why they call it MMO is very simple. If you take a look at Battlefield 3, a large map on there, such as Firestorm, is about 4 square kilometers, 2x2. The maps, or continents as they're known, in Planetside 2 are 8x8 kilometers, or 64 square kilometers. These are huge maps. Now, the planet where the action takes place on is called Oraxis, and there will be 3 continents on there at the start. The one that we know of is called Endor. We don't know the names or much of the details of the other 2 continents at the moment. So Endor is 64 square kilometers. It will have, at the moment, 9 bases on there. Those are the main bases, and each of those bases is about the size of a Battlefield 3 map. Now, in between the bases, you've also got outposts, you've also got towers, so you've got lots of things, capture and hold points to take. Plus, of course, you've got the open ground for tank battles, and you've got the air for air battles as well. So if you imagine it, on this 64 square kilometer map, you've got up to 2,000 players. Each one of those can have their own vehicle if they've got the resources to do it. So if you can imagine a column of 100 tanks, maybe you've got 50 transport aircraft being protected by 300 fighters. You can have that kind of scale in Planetside 2. This is what the game's built to be able to pull forward and to be able to do and to get players to do this. That is a lot of scale, and that is a lot of firepower and a lot of players in there all playing at the same time. Within the game, there will be 3 factions. Now, there's the original faction, which is the Terran Republic. These are very much strength through unity kind of people. So they are not quite communist, not in that way, but they believe in sticking together, everyone uniting for a common good. You've got the New Conglomerate. Now, they're a splinter group from the Terran Republic, and a lot of their weaponry and their kit tends to be for example, mining equipment that's being put together and pressed into military service, maybe hunting rifles. So it's much more second-hand or stolen equipment that they've taken from the Terran Republic. It's not quite the up-to-date stuff that the TR have. The third one is the Vanu Sovereignty. And if you like your alien tech, these are the guys that you need to look at. The story behind them is that they discovered a cache or information on alien technology. So they use that to equip their forces. So a lot of what they have is different to the other 2. For example, one of their aircraft, the Scythe, uses a different type of propulsion and therefore handles differently to the Terran Republic and the New Conglomerate. Their tanks, for example, are hover tanks, which if you remember in Battlefield 2142, one of the factions in there also had a hover tank. So that's the differences between the 3 factions, and factions tend to be something that you pin your petard to and stay there. You don't tend to move from faction to faction, you choose one and you stay there. So that's the basics of it. It's a very large game, played over very large maps. It's persistent. So if you log out now and come back in a few hours, there may very well still be that battle raging. There's no end to the game. There's no real start. There's no end. It always carries on. It's a persistent universe. So that's the basics. Next, what we'll do is cover a little bit more information on some of the squads and the outfits in the game, just to show you how that works. Now, the clan that I'm in, which is Eurogamers.eu, will be taking part in Planetside 2. We haven't decided what faction we're going to be yet, but I've got a personal leaning towards the Terran Republic. One of the most interesting things for me about Planetside 2 is the way that it handles squads and outfits. Now, in order to start an outfit, which we would call a clan, you need 10 players. You get 10 players to sign up, you've got a squad. You can have up to 3 squads, and that makes a platoon. So you then got 30 players if you've got that many. And then you can have platoons, and all the platoons together make up an outfit. You can have quite literally hundreds of people in an outfit. You can have your mates, you can have several clans working together to form one single outfit. And then that outfit can all work together to be able to go and capture a point or to defend a point and to work on those different things. So that is a kind of massive team play that you're going to find, hopefully, in Planetside 2. To facilitate this kind of thing, it has what it should have, which is in-game void. Now, to give you an example of the kind of things that SOE have done, if you jump into a vehicle, automatically you will have in-vehicle void between you and the other people in the vehicle. Now, this becomes important in certain situations. So, for example, let's take the Galaxy transport. This thing is a whale. It's a large air transport. You can have up to 12 people in there. So you can have the pilot, maybe 1 gunner, and then 10 members of a squad. It's very large, very heavily armed. But that can transport all those people onto a point and do a drop on top of that point so they can try and get in there and capture quickly. So you can imagine a scenario, maybe you've got 3 squads. You've got 3 Galaxy transports. Maybe you have 5 or 6 of your friends who have got interceptors and they're protecting your Galaxies as you're moving in towards a cap point. That's the kind of team play you can do. On one outfit, just one clan, can do all of that working through in-game void. It's that big, it's that complex, but it's also got the tools to be able to do that. This is one of the things, as I say, I'm really looking forward to in this game, the ability to do that. And of course, because you've got such massive maps, it means you're not just moving a few hundred meters in one direction. You can sneak around the outside, possibly going through waterways or around the sea, get to one of their back areas and attempt to take that. Even if it's just a ruse, the game opens itself to this kind of tactics, this kind of strategy. So if you've got several outfits working together, for example, you could quite conceivably have 300 or 400 people on the move, all working towards either one or a series of cap points under a certain strategy. Now, there are several ways of customizing your character and its appearance and its looks. So you've got the obvious one, which is changing the camo on your character, changing the camo on your weapons, changing the camo on your vehicles. That allows you to, for example, you could take your entire outfit and everyone agrees that they're going to have giraffe stripes. Silly? Yes. Possible? Yes. You can do things like that and that will make you stand out on the battlefield, or other things that you want to do to make you look a little different or to blend into the environment. The second way that you can customize, and this is one of the biggies, is through certificates. So let's say, for example, that you wanted to be a Sunderer driver. A Sunderer is a land vehicle that allows you to, basically it's a moving spawn point, so you can drive it to somewhere near to a base that you want to cap, and that allows you and your teammates to spawn on that vehicle and to quickly get into the action. Now, to drive that, you need to be certified to be able to do it. So you may spend your certification points on becoming a Sunderer driver. Personally, I'll be spending my initial points on becoming a Galaxy pilot. Now, the Galaxy is a huge whale of an aircraft. It allows up to 12 people in it, so that's the pilot plus a further 11. And as there are 10 people in a squad, what that means is that you can transport an entire squad and drop them on top of a point that you're trying to cap, or a base that you're trying to cap, for a very quick set of reinforcements or a very quick attack. And that is something, for whatever the reason, appeals to me personally. I quite enjoy playing the support roles and letting other guys get in there and do the shooting. So if you see me in game and you see me in a galaxy, jump in, I'll take you where you want to go. Now certificates, so for example, if you wanted to be a tank driver, you would need to certify in order to be able to do that. And you can't certify for everything immediately, so you're building up. So it may be that you become a level 1 tank driver or a level 1 pilot of a certain aircraft, etc, etc. Over time you will build up your certificate points. The third way, and there's not that much information on this one as of yet, is implants. But to give you an example of what you can do with implants, you can, for example, make your weapon reload faster. So it's a change to your physical and mental abilities within the game. So those are the 3 ways of customization. What SOE have said is that there will be 2 different things that you can buy within the game. The first one is more items to customize your appearance with. So it might be different camels, for example, or other different kinds of things. But the second thing is side grades of weapons. Now this raises a little red flag for me, because it's one thing to sell things which are cosmetic, and I completely agree with that. SOE is a business, Planetside is a game that needs to fund itself, it's not a charity. They need to earn money, not an issue. But what they specifically said is you cannot buy power in this game. You cannot buy better weapons. But once you have side grades, for example, it could be a rifle that fires faster but does less damage per round. Once you start that, you start to get into issues of balance, and just a small tweak out can make that rifle more powerful than the one that you originally had. Which means if you buy it using real world dollars, you end up paying for power. So it's something that I'll be watching, but to their credit, SOE has said that they'll be watching this very carefully. They've been very specific in saying that you can't buy power, and the game is not out. The beta hasn't even started yet, so we're not going to be able to test this until it comes out, but it is something to watch just in case it happens. Now, Planetside 2 is such a large, in-depth game, I wanted to add this section towards the end just to throw in some more information. Now, in terms of classes, there'll be 6 classes. So you've got your classic medic, you've got an infiltrator, you've got an engineer, but you've also got max suits. So if you've ever watched or played Warhammer 40k or Space Marine and you know the Terminator suits, think something along those lines, huge walking tanks. These are suits that are heavily armed, heavily armoured, but slow, so that's the price that you pay for using them. Also, several vehicles can't transport you, or you can't drive or pilot those vehicles, so you may be stuck where you are, so you need to take that into account before taking a max suit. Each of the factions has 2 faction specific vehicles. So for example, the Scythe for the Vanu Sovereignty is one example of a faction specific vehicle. There's also 5 global vehicles as well. Those are available to any of the factions. In terms of certificates, there's one which is a commander certificate which you can work up to, and that allows you to become a commander within the game. Why is that important? Well, if you imagine what the commander back in Battlefield 2 or 2142 could do, the one in Planetside 2 can coordinate several outfits, but he can also set missions. So he can set a mission for your outfit or your squad to be able to go to a place, cap a point, and you get resources for that. And that adds an additional level of complexity and command and control above what's already on the battlefield, which is already extremely impressive. And the final thing I just want to mention is an app which they've developed for both Android and Apple. Now, yeah, a lot of games have got apps, but this one goes a few steps further. You can actually chat with people in-game in your outfit. So for example, if you're sat at work, you can, and you shouldn't do this, I'm not saying you should do this, but we all do it. You can log into the game, see what the guys are doing that are playing on there, say, look, I'm out of work at 5:30, I'm home by 6, I'll be on there in 2 hours time. If you're one of the outfit commanders or one of the outfit bosses, you can be telling your guys, look, you need to get back to here to defend. Now, some people will, some people won't, but it's touches like that which I really like about Planetside 2. Also the UI, if you watch the videos, especially day 2 that Total Biscuit put up, you'll see that there are different UIs in there already. There's at least a couple which you can play with. But Planetside 2 has said that there may very well be the ability to enhance and to change the UI as you see fit. As far as I'm aware, it's built on Flash, so if you know Flash, there may very well be the possibility that you can build your own UI for yourself. Now, can you share that? I don't know, but that would be an interesting option. So these are all different things about Planetside 2, and you can see the depth and the breadth of the game. And the thing about a free-to-play game is that for it to succeed, it has to carry on being great and has to carry on pulling people in, which means that the developer has to carry on providing new things, which is a positive aspect to this business model for games. So that's just a few additional little things for Planetside 2. Just thought I'd throw them in there. I hope by now I convinced you that Planetside 2 is a game that you've got to check out. It's got everything that we Battlefield players crave. Vehicle warfare, air warfare, classes and classes working together, large scale warfare across huge maps. If it's got it on a scale that Battlefield can only dream of, we're not talking 64 players per map over a piddling little map. We're talking about 2,000 players on a 64 square kilometre map with 9 or more bases plus towers plus outposts. Just to kind of give you an idea what that means. Instead of having 2 jets per side, you could have 50 interceptors which are taking 5 Galaxies, which each one have got 12 people in, towards one base to take it. Just imagine the scale of that and taking part in something like that. It's crazy, but it's brilliant. This is the kind of thing which Battlefield does to a certain degree at its scale, at least the early ones did. Battlefield 3, well, we all know what my thoughts on that are. It's just simply a watered down version. But if you want that kind of vehicle warfare and air warfare and huge maps, huge players, you need to set out, you need to look at Planetside 2. Now the beta, we're hoping for an announcement shortly about when it's going to be. There was a tweet out which went out yesterday which indicated that, so fingers crossed it's coming in the next month or two. I'll certainly be in it, and the clan that I played for, which is Eurogamers.eu, we will have an outfit within Planetside 2. So if you're looking for somewhere to join with us. Don't worry, we'll treat you well. That's it for this video. I very much hope you enjoyed it. Planetside 2 is certainly one I'm watching, and certainly one that when it does come out, when the beta comes out, I've set aside an entire weekend just to sit playing it from dusk to dawn. Hope you enjoyed the video. As always, if you did, please like it. If you really did, please subscribe. In the meantime, carry on, enjoy your gaming, take care.